So, Fresh Start Worlds are coming November 2nd, and I am super excited to be jumping into low-level PvP. Seriously, open world PvP at the beginning of the game is crazy amounts of fun, and the fact that we have a Fresh Start World where there will be no level 60s, oh my god, it's going to be like the Wild West out here. Everybody's going to be running around, killing each other flagged. There's going to be no level 60s to ruin your fun either. Man, I'm really looking forward to it. So, in anticipation of these upcoming Fresh Start servers, I thought I'd share with you guys a little bit of low-level PvP that I've been hanging on to for a little while, and this is just some footage that I got when new servers would open up, and I just created a new character to kind of give myself a little bit of the Fresh Start experience. So, without further ado, let's get right into the fight. You can see there are 3 purple around here, and I find myself kind of trapped in the house. They're already sending the trash talk in the chat box there, and that's okay. I'm just gonna keep on trying to throw my fireballs at them. I jump out towards the enemy healer. This guy comes from behind, and I catch a beautiful riposte off of him, and just right away break a bit of distance using evade, and then go back to pelting them with the fire staff. Low-level PvP, you do not have a lot of healing power, neither does the opponent. Even if you're using consumables, the low-level consumables do not heal as much as the higher-level ones do, just comparatively to your max health. So you have to be kind of conservative with how you fight. The pace of combat in low-level PvP in general is just a little bit slower. Well, actually quite a bit slower. Either way, I do catch a nice riposte again into the backstab, try to throw the fireball down, and he does a good job blocking it, and I get body blocked by the other players. The healer throwing a lot of heals down as well. There's the incinerate without the grit. Oh yeah, love to see it. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of perks into my incinerate in the fire staff tree, so it does very little damage to that guy. And I just go back behind the house and I re-heal. Because the fight is more attrition based, I have to be kind of careful with my health, especially outnumbered. If it drops too low, it's going to be very hard to refill it quickly, and that will just invite a ton of aggression from these guys, because they might think that I'm close to going down. So yeah, being very careful with it. Managed to catch this guy by himself behind the house here. I try to put damage in, but again, the healer gets there in time and starts throwing the heals down. He's still taking quite a bit of pressure, though. I managed to land a fireball on the healer, actually. He's getting really low in health, and I try to stay on top of him. There's a poke with the Rapier evade, and then I flesh through just to finish him off, and then turn around and start feeding them fireballs again. After the first time these guys killed me, I really wanted my revenge, and there you see when I do manage to get the kill, right away they start panicking, the group splits up, the other player there just completely abandoning his friend, or I'm not sure, I think maybe he might be switching weapons or something, and I'm able to bring this guy down, finish him off with one more poke from the Rapier. And he looks like he's trying to run away now. He doesn't want to fight, but that's not how it's going to happen. He's still talking trash. Oh my gosh. Like saying piss off is going to help his situation here. I just stay right on his tail, just feed him those backstabs, and yeah, he tries to tank his little healing circle. That's not going to happen. Just a few more pokes, bringing him down. And feels good to get my revenge after being zerged down by those guys a little bit earlier. Now, moving on to the next fight, I did try a bunch of different stuff with these low-level characters, just to see what the best way to gear myself out is at the beginning of the game, assuming you don't use trade and stuff like that. And I found that the bosses actually had some pretty useful drops that had a higher gear score than some of the other items I could get at that level. However, after going to farm these bosses for a few hours, I didn't get a single drop, and I think for the low-level stage of the game, trying to farm any weapons from the bosses is not the best move, especially with Brimstone Sands now here, and the low-level quests giving you much better weapons than they used to. I think just questing is going to be the easiest and most effective way to gear yourself out early on, outside of the faction vendor, of course, for that resilient gear. But on the plus side, during this experience, I found a ton of PvP at these bosses, and here is a 1v2 that I had against these 2 green. I actually fought them a handful of times, and they just kept coming back for more. So there you see, I pick up the kill on the healer to start, and then this guy just finishing off the last few hits on the boss there, and I'm just going to do the Rapier dance against a hammer definitely an advantage, I think, for the Rapier being a much faster weapon. He switches to Sword and Board to try to land those stuns, and I'm just going to break a bit of distance. And this time he decides to bail out of here, and yeah, that was the last time, I believe, that these guys showed up, and I was able to successfully hold my ground, but not get the drop that I was going for. And for the last clip here, I just wanted to show a bit of a longer 1v1 against a level 60. This is something that we're not going to have to worry about with the fresh start servers, which is really awesome because in this fight here, he can kill me in 2 or 3 light attacks, and yeah, you'll see, even if he holds still for me, I don't think I have enough damage to actually kill this guy. That being said, this was a very interesting fight because it was super cutthroat, and I basically had to not get hit by anything, otherwise I was in a very dangerous position very quickly. So I'll let you guys enjoy this as I say goodbye. I am super excited for these Fresh Start Worlds to come. I will be making a guide. I've actually already started working on a Fresh Start guide for you guys, just going over how to gear your character out for PvP as soon as possible and as effective as possible. So I'll be linking that down in the description below once I finally upload that for you guys as well. If you enjoyed the gameplay and maybe want to catch some live stuff, you can always give me a follow on Twitch. I will be live streaming the Fresh Start experience too. And give me a follow on Twitter if you guys want to keep up to date with me. You can check out my website, pvpnewworld.com. It's got written guides to a ton of different PvP builds, and I feature the New World Top 5 fights. If you have an awesome fight that you want to see featured, you can send that to Kristofer at pvpnewworld.com. This show is sponsored by ExpressVPN. It lets you browse the internet safely and anonymously. It can even give you access to some websites that you might not have access to in your country. And you can get a deal on your first purchase with the link down below. And last but not least, thank you to all of my patrons on Patreon for supporting the show. Thank you guys for keeping it going. Thank you everybody just for tuning in and watching. I hope you are excited for the Fresh Start Worlds. I hope you're looking forward to the guide coming soon. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great night, everybody.